I create a Telegram bot which will help me while I need to go from one place to another place for traveling. As you know, I am a YouTube content creator. This bot helped me to finding the best resources of creating the YouTube videos, as well as it will give me the best script for making the YouTube content based on machine learning. Sometimes I am feeling depressed and this bot helped me to remove and move on from this bullshit depression. I am a traveler, programmer, and a YouTube content creator. Let's say I need to go from Kolkata to Varanasi, and simply I ask these questions to the Telegram bot. Here is the response. Cool. It will give me the response based on the flight, based on the cost, everything. Now the most important one, because it's related to me as a YouTuber. I need to creating here a videos based on transformer in NLP. So here you go. So you can see that what is the response I got, how can you creating the videos about the transformer, encoder, decoder, or how can you use it for the translator. So now it's time to testing our depressed one. I am feeling so bad today and my girlfriend broke up with me. Now let's see what response we got from this Telegram bot. That's the response we got from the Telegram bot. It will give me some kind of relaxing note, as well as it will help me to move from the depressions. Jokes apart, I don't have any girlfriend, I am pure single. You are able to making this bot without writing any single line of code. Just you have the knowledge about the prompt engineering. So I need to create one video as well as the course about the prompt engineering. You can go and check out the videos from my video description. So let us start our journey and try to creating this automation tool. For creating the Telegram bot, or you can say a personal assistant, you can using here this n8n, which one is a powerful automation tool. Using this one, you can creating here some AI agents. Simply going to click here to get started for free, and you need to give it here your name, your email, and you need to creating here one account on that. And simply you can access this n8n automation tool. One more thing, you can also use this n8n tool in your local host using Node.js. So we're going to using here the global one, I mean our online one, so that we can trigger it from the Telegram. So let's start right now and creating here our agent. So that's our workflow. Let's have a look what we have. So we're having one name, so you can change the name from here. Let's change the name first. Let's say personal assistant. Let's assistant. So you can also giving here one emoji. So I'm going to click on here and press the window dot so that my emoji palette is actually opening. So I can selecting here one emoji. Let's say robot emoji. Now in this section, you can see here we're having one home for getting here the home. I mean, go for the home, and we're having one active or inactive button so that you can active here or inactive here our workflow while we do the testing. Then we're having one share button so that you can share with someone else, as well as we're having one button for saving the workflow. And you can see here we're having three dot where you can duplicate your workflow, you can download your workflow, as well as you can import your workflow from URL or your disk. And the main important part here, it is nothing but this plus button, which one is nothing but for the node panel. If I click on here, you can see here server kind of node panel is actually appear on here. So I am simply going to taking here one trigger. So trigger is nothing but triggering your workflow when you are executing your workflow. So I'm simply going to give you one overview that how can you use this tool for creating some kind of AI agents. So I'm going to first keep here to taking one chat trigger so that we can trigger to our chat. So you can back to the canvas. Now you can see here our chat trigger is coming up. If you click on here, it will execute it. You can see chat panel is open. You can give it to here, let's say hi. So you can see here the chat trigger, but it failed to run the workflow due to empty node execution stack. Because yeah, the node is executed, but it don't have any AI agents. So let me click on here to take on AI agents. So advanced, and let's try to closing this out, and I can selecting here the AI agents. Now we're having our AI agents. So we're having our chat input. We can simply going to click on here and define below, and simply you're going to drag and drop this chat input to the text to our AI agents. Now in our AI agent, we can give it here our large language models. So because we're going to using here free and open source models, so that's why I'm going to using here the Groq chat model. If I going to click on here, you can see here we having several types of chat model are available, just like the Anthropic chat model or Google Gemini or the OpenAI or Olama or the Groq chat model. because Groq chat model is free to use and open source, that you're going to using this Groq chat model. You can also using the OpenAI in order to getting here the code response. So for that, I'm going to go on the Groq Cloud website in order to getting here my API key. So that's our Groq Cloud Playground. So you can type here any kind of question, and if you click the submit button, it will give you the answer. So I'm simply going to go on the API key sections, and I'm going to creating here one new API key. Let's say n8n. I click on let's say submit. Okay, verify that you are human, and I'm going to click here to submit, and it will give me one API key. So I'm going to copy this out, and I'm going to go on our n8n workspace. I'm going to click on here and click on Grok chat model, and then I need to giving here one new credential, and I need to pass it here. Okay, let's say click on save. And now you can see here connection tested successfully. Cool. So why this? If I open in this, you can see here Grok model 1 and Grok model 2. So Grok model 1 is nothing but before because I already creating these applications before. That's why it already stored my Grok account. So I'm using this one, and you can selecting here your model from here. Okay, you can see here several types of model are available, just like Llama, or you can see here we having one model called DeepSeek R1. You can see here it's also available, but you cannot use it right now in order to creating here your tools. So let's using this one, Llama 38B8192. Okay, because it's free to use. So I'm going to go on here and back to canvas. Now if I am going to delete it, and if I save it, see, most important thing, just save the workflow. Okay, because while I'm making this actually projects, even a stuck, or if I actually forget to clicking on the save button, okay, it not work. So I'm going to click on here to chat, and I can chat in here. Let's say hello, and click on save. Now you can see here one thing, it will execute this node. You can say hello, it's nice to meet you, is there something I can help you with today? So let's say what is langchain. Let's say what is langchain. So let's say langchain. So you can see it will give me the answer. It will take an answer from this Grok Cloud chat model, and it will give me the answer. Let's say LangChain is an open source AI powered language model platform that enables developers to build and deploy custom language model. If you wanted to learn more about the LangChain and LangChain core, what is, you can go on the multiverse series, and you can do the 5% that you already do that. Okay. So I'm going to click here to close that. So you can see that we can simply creating here one AI agent without using any programming languages like Python, C++, or JavaScript. We're just using here one drag and drop tool, and we can simply go into creating here our chat model as well. Now let's save it and try to go on here again. Let's say chat. So you can see here, let's say what is my, let's say what is my name. Okay, what is my name? So you say, what is my name? I apologize, but I am helpful assistant. I don't have any information about your name. So let's say my name is, let's say Mishudhar. Let's say Mishudhar Chandu. Okay. So I give your name. Nice to meet you, Mishudhar Chandu. It's great to have you here. Okay. So if I go to give it here, let's say what is my name again? What is my name again? And you can see here it unable to give my name. See, it unable to give my name. Already I give her name, give my name, that is my name is Mishudat Chandu, but it unable to say my name again. Why? Because it don't have any memory. It don't have any memory. So to give it here memory as well, so I'm going to click on here, and I'm going to give it here window buffer memory. So I need to select here the chat defined below, and inside this key I need to giving here one okay, I need to delete it first, that I can go on here and execute the previous node. Okay, the previous node is not executed, so I can go on here, let's say hello. Okay, in order to execute the node, okay, window buffer memory is not available. Okay, I need to go on here, and I hope so it will now execute it. Yep, executed, sorry. So I need to give it here the chat ID. So I need to give you a chat ID, but the chat ID is not here. You can give you the session ID as well. Okay, so you can see here that's our result is coming up. And now if I am going, you can also give it here your newsland. Let's give it here 10 messages. Okay, I'm going to click here to back to canvas, and now I'm going to delete it here, and I can save it here, and then I am simply going to click on chat. So let's say now let's say hello first. Okay, let's say hello, and you can see here it will give me the response. So let's say my name is Mishu Dhar. Let's say Mishu Dhar Chando, and you can see here, nice to meet you, Mishu Dhar Chando. So okay, let's what is my name? Let's say what is my name, and let's see it will able to actually understand my name or not. And you can see your name is Mishu Dhar Chando. That's mean you can see that how can using here the window buffer memory in order to store our chatting history. You can adding here a tool as well. You can adding here tools. You can adding here your calculator tool, but it's better we can creating it here for the Telegram bot, because you can be interacting with the Telegram bot for the mental health support, for the YouTube videos, as well as for the travel guidelines. So I'm simply going to removing all of the workspace because it's not needed at all. We're going to creating it from scratch. So that's why I'm going to click on here, and I'm going to searching for Telegram. You can say Telegram and click on messages, and we need to selecting here our Telegram account. So it's already selected. It's better I can deleting this out first, and I'm going to creating here a new one. So I'm going to creating here and create new credentials, and I have to go here in this open docs, and then you can see here first in order to starting your access token, you need to clicking on here this bot further, and it will opening this out, and to selecting here my open Telegram desktop. If you have the desktop account, if you have the desktop, you can using here the web as well. So you can click on start, and you can click on here to new bot, and then you can give it here one bot name. Uh, let's say Ganesha AI. let's say Ganesha. Let's say Ganesha bot. So code names, let's choose a username for your bot. It must be add to it bot. So let's say Ganesha, let's say 896. Okay, let's say bot. Let's see is it available or not. So yeah, it's available. So congratulations on your new bot, and your bot is look like that. So you can have one your access token. You can copy this out. You can copy your access token in order to access your bot. So it's better we can adding here one image as well. So let's set user pictures. To selecting here the bot, and to selecting here one image. So let's say selecting here this image. Let's select here this Iron Man. Okay, I'm going to click on here, and let's say Jarvis, or it's better we can selecting here one bot for Ganesha. Okay, let's select in this one. Okay, Jarvis. Okay, that's our caption, and profile picture is updated, and I can clicking here this on. Okay, and you can see here our bot is ready. There's our Ganesha bot. So we can go on here our workspace, and we can simply going to give it here our API access token, and we can click on save. Okay, now our credential is okay, and it will testing this out, and it will connected the tested successfully. Cool. Now we can back to canvas, and now we can triggering our workflow. We can close save it first, and you can close it, and you can test our workflow. Now you can see waiting for trigger event. So if I'm going on here, and now let's say start, and you can see it again waiting for the trigger event. Let's say hello. So you can see here trigger is again waiting. Why? Let's wait for a few seconds. I think my internet connection is gone. Let's look again. Okay, sorry for that. Actually, my internet connection is actually gone, so that's why it's not responding. But it's responding right now. You can see here hello is executed, as it our workflow trigger is also executed. You can test it here again. So let's test it here again. Let's say hi. Let's say hi, and you can see here workflow executed successfully. It may happen in the case of internet. Okay, so I'm going to click on here, and now you can see here we having one text called hi, and first name is nothing but Dhar. It's nothing but my Telegram account name Dhar. So you can see here that's my message. Now I can pass this message to our AI agents. I can click on here, and I can click in here advanced AI. I can select here our AI agents, and inside that I can pass in here define below, and I can pass in here the text to our AI agents. So you can also give in here some kind of prompt in your AI agents. So you can click on here. You can give in here some kind of system message. So I click on the expressions. I'm going to go on here to full in out. So I can give it here a role. Let's say role. So role. So this hashtag is nothing but is a bold word in nothing but the H1 tag in HTML. So let's say you are a helpful, okay, assistant, assist, let's say assistant, let's say called Jarvis. Let's say Jarvis. We just give it here one name. Let's say you are talking, okay, you are talking with the first name. I mean, talking with this Telegram bot, the owner of the Telegram bot. So you can give it here. Let's say I'm going to give in here some kind of information, right? Not now actually. So let's give it to here and click on close and click on back to canvas. And I need to click on here to add here one chat model. So I'm going to click a chat model and click on here. Okay. Now, if I'm going to save it and if I'm going to close it, and as well as I'm going to click here to set one Telegram event, but before that, it also running this workflow. So click on here. So it will waiting for the trigger. So let's say, hello, and you can see trigger and workflow is executed successfully. If I go on the AI agents, so we can see that we're having some kind of message and go there, there it's your pleasure to speaking. Okay, you can see here we having our output. Okay, you can see go there, here it's pleasure to speaking with you. How can I assist you today? Do you have a particular task or question in your mind? So I can also get back to our Telegram. So you can go on here and I can go on here Telegram and you can setting here send a text message. So send a text message, we can selecting here this one, or to selecting here our chat ID. So I need to go and I need to go on here and I need to selecting here our chat ID as well as our text is nothing but output by our text data. So you can pass it to here, let's say output. Okay, that's our output. So we can simply going to close it, we can simply going to save it, and now we can test in the workflow. So let's test it out. Let's say what is, let's say what is your name? So see, and got there. My name is Jarvis. I am an artificial intelligence designed to assist and facilities various tasks. I am your I'm at your service. Okay, but you can see here this message was sent automatically with n8n. We can also removing this out. We can go on here and you can click here to add field, append this n8n attribute, and you can simply going to closing this out. Okay, so now you can testing this out again. You can save it. Make sure that you save the workflow, right? Test in the workflow and go on here. Let's say hello, hello. So you can see here it will give me the answer without this text. But the problem is you can see here I creating actually clicking this test flow again, 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 again. But what if we simply going to actually run it for the one time and you can continuously chatting with this bot. So you can using here this delete and you can click on this active button. So you can see it activated. Now you can go on the bot. So let's say what is Python. So you can see here it will give me the answer. Okay, you can see it give me the answer. Or I am happy to enlighten you on topic of Pythons. So let's say what is LangChain. Let's say LangChain. So you can see here it will give me the answer. Okay, but you may got some kind of error in case of actually the parsing the data. So it's better you can adding here one edit text. Okay, that's my actual suggestions because it's actually returning here one HTML doc. So that's why it's better you can adding here one set field on here. So I can back to canvas. I can go on here. I can deleting this first, and I can also deleting this. I can simply going to add it to the edit field, and I can add it to the edit field to the here. Okay, this is nothing but our response is taking from our AI agent and passing as a plain text. So I can go on here and I can execute the previous note. Okay, limitation of Telegram. Okay, okay. Limitation of Telegram because you need to also deactivate this one. And then I can simply go into click on here and I need to selecting here this previous note. And you can see here it the note is executed, but it's waiting for the command. Let's say hello. Okay. So it is executed. I hope so. So let's see. Waiting for the trigger. Yeah, trigger. Okay, fine. So you can go on here and now we can having our text. You can click on add field. That's our response. Let's say response and you can give it here string, and we can give it to here expressions. So let's expression is nothing but our JSON. Let's JSON dot output. That's our output is coming from our AI agents. Okay, and now it's stored here our output, and you can go on the telegrams, and you can simply go into clicking here the output to be closed, and you can execute the previous node, and we're having our response, so you can pass it to here response. Okay, so now that's our response. So let's click on here, and I am simply going to delete the workflow. I can save it here, and now I can simply going to click on save, and as well as testing the workflow. Not test the workflow right now. So let's say um, what is let's say what is stable diffusion. Let's say what is stable diffusion model. So you can see here it will give me the response, but you can see here it having some bad parameter. You can see here bad parameter because of, if I see that the bad parameter, you can see bad, please check your parameter cannot find and of the entity starting by an offset. It's nothing but because of the markdown. If I go on here and selecting here on parse mode, you can see here parse mode is nothing but the HTML. So if I go into give it here the markdown, okay, go to the markdown, and if I save it, and if I going to close it and test the workflow again, and you can see here I'm going to copy this out, and I'm going to paste into here, because our telegram bot is unable to parsing here our messages. So you can click on here again, and I need to select here the HTML. So let's click to back to canvas, save it, and let's test the workflow again. So I can go on here, let's say what is the stable deviations. So you can see here it will give me the response. Okay, just because of some kind of cases, our AI agents is giving me some kind of a response with having some special character. So which one is not supported by the Telegram bot. So that's why sometimes it will give me some kind of error. Okay, so that's why because you're using the free model. So if you're using here an OpenAI chat model, obviously to give me some kind of bad goat response. So that's why I actually adding here this edit field to setting here response. So you can edit, give it here one name. Let's say response. Okay, let's say response because of parsing. Okay, some kind of time it will give me some kind of odd types of result this chat model. So that's why this problem. Now we can add in here one tools to your chat model. So we can give it here on tools. Let's say calculator. Let's say calculator. Where is the calculator? You can searching for the calculator. So let's say calculator. Okay, so back to canvas. Now our tool is ready, but if I'm going to save it, and if I'm going to test workflow, and if I, let's say 2 plus 2, okay, so let's say 2 plus 2, and if I click on send, and you can see here it will give me the response again. It's called undefined. Okay, reading content. Okay, so you can see here it unable to read the content. Okay, so the output is nothing but nothing else, but it will try to calling here the calculator, but response is poor, but we don't give it here any content for that. I mean, we don't mention here any tools how I need to using it for the agents. I mean, I need to initialize here how I need to using these tools, these calculator tools. Yeah, it's executed, but it's not giving the response. So let's say I'm going to save it here again, and if I'm going to delete it, and if I run it again, so let's say what is, let's say 2 plus 5, and you can see here it will give me the response for that. That's mean this model, this chat model is not actually giving me this kind of good response at all. It will give me some kind of error. Okay, if you have the OpenAI, it will give you on best result. Okay, so what I can do, but you can see it is using the calculator yet, but you are not mentioning it here. But it is good choice to mention here your tools that you are actually building or you are using. So let's say I'm going to adding here some tool overview. Let's say tools, okay, tools overview. So let's say I can also giving here some additional information. Let's say additional, let's say additional information. So why actually? Because our GPT model are unable to uh, figure out here our time, date and time. So you can simply going to take it from the n8n. So let's say current date and time, and you can give it here current date and time here. Okay, let's say using here this one, and you can using here this now, so it will give me the date and time. So now tool overview. So let's say you have to access, so you have access to the following tools. Say prompt is the core knowledge of the GPT model. I mean our large language model. If you're giving here one good prompt, it will working like that. If you're giving here a bad prompt, it's not working. It's not working like that. Okay. So tools overview. So you can give in here first tools. Let's our calculator. Let's say calculator. Let's say calculator. Okay. So we can give it here some kind of text. Let's try to pasting here the text. Okay, so I write on the prompt, perform complex calculations from basic arithmetic to advanced operations. Use it for quick calculations, financial budgeting, or solving the mathematical problems. So you can also using the Wolfram Alpha to solving this kind of tough problem. You can using here to getting access the API. But I'm simply going to using this calculator tool here. Okay, it's your homework to do that. So I'm going to click on here to back to canvas. Now back to canvas, I can saving this out, and now let's say I'm going to test the workflow, and I can go on here, and let's say what is 2 plus 6 into 5 into 6 divided by 3. So it will calculating this one, this complex tax. You can see here 62. Okay, it will execute this calculator tool as well. Okay, so how our AI agents actually work, because AI agent is nothing but taking the prompt. If you're giving here on good prompt as well as one good model, it will give you this kind of response. Now we are simply going to creating here our first our agent. That's our mental health agents. Okay, so for that I need to go on here inside. First I need to saving this out. I need to delete this out. I need to click on here, click on here, and I need to creating here one separate workflow for that. And I need to creating here one executed node, because we're going to calling this node our workflow from our personal assistant. So we having one starter executed node, so or the executor workflow trigger. So I can click on here, and I can search for our how and call by another workflow, because we're going to calling it from our another workflow. So you can give it here on below. So let's say I'm going to accepting here on below. So let's say I'm going to accepting here on query. So let's say query, I can give it here, let's say query. So let's say let's give it here on query about the mental health. So let's say my girlfriend break up with me. Let's say my girlfriend break up with me. Okay, not like that actually. So click on save, and back to canvas, and also click on save on here. Okay, save on here. Now you can see here our workflow is triggered. We can click on here to checking this out. You can see note is executed successfully. Now in here we can adding here our AI agents. So let's adding here our AI agents. So click on advanced and click on our AI agents. So you can click on here, you can define the below, and you can paste in here our query. Okay, so I can click on back, and then to adding here our chat model. So that's our Groq chat model. Okay, so our chat model is actually executed, I mean added. Now what I can do is simply going to adding here some kind of role to our AI agents so that it will work. So I can give it go on here, and I'm going to adding here on options. That's a system message. So let's click on here expressions, and I'm going to expand it more. And then I need to giving here one role, while I need to run it and what kind of data I need to response to my users. Okay, so I give it here some kind of role. Your role is to assist you with mental health support based on the following details. So let's say mood and emotion, and anxiety state, sadness, etc. in your text. Then you have the current situation, let's say job related stress, or the family problem, or the personal problem. So let's say preference. You can using here the self care strategy, the relations exercise, and the mindfulness extra technique on here. And desired outcome, let's say climbing, this one. We give it here the support short term daily. It's nothing but available in your response to your AI model. So already given here our role. Your role is to assist with mental health support based on the following details. See, we give it here a role. It's called a role-based prompting. If you don't know how the prompt engine actually work and why it's important, you can check out my course about the prompt engineering. It will be in the descriptions. Then you can see here provide a tailored mental health plan with options for relaxation technique, coping strategies, self-care activity. Don't worry about this prompt. I'll give you this full workflow in the GitHub or the n8n templates. Okay, don't worry about that. You can get it here. So I'm going to click here to back to canvas. Okay, let's try to close it and then back to canvas. And now it's better you can test in the workflow. So you can save it to here. Make sure you save it. And also you can see here to give it here accept all data. Accept all data is nothing but it's coming from the data from our another workflow. We can testing it from here. So we can test workflow and you can see here to test in workflow and workflow is executed. And if I go into this AI agent, you can see here we having some response. You can see here, I am so sorry to hear going through a breakup can be incredibly challenging and emotional. You can see here to give me some kind of emotions. It give me some relaxation technique. It will give me some self activities. It will give me the coping state. It will give me the professional resources. It will give me the mental health tips and also giving a summary of the our mental health support plan. You can see that how cool our AI agent actually work. Okay, so what I can do now, we can see, but not don't use the memory because we don't need the memory yet in kind of cases. Also, you can dividing your AI agent into simple parts of LLM chain. I mean, let's say this agent is going to work for the actually mode. This agent is going to work for the current situation. This agent is working for the let's say uh, work for the relaxations technique. This workflow is working for the self-care activities, or this agent is working for the mental health tips. You can creating here on a CPR rather than you to getting here the go response from here. You can click on here and you can selecting here your basics LM chain. You don't need to using here the AI agents. So you can also using this on to elaborate this more thing, but you're not going to using it here. It's your homework because you're going to do it in our YouTube agents so that you can also have a look at how it actually work. Okay, click on save, and now we can access this workflow from our personal assistant workflow. So it's better you can give it your name. So let's say give it to let's say mental health support. Okay, let's say support bot. Let's support bot, and you can give it here one emoji as well. So selecting this one and then you can save it. Yeah, it's saved, and you can close it as well, and you can go to the overview again and you can go on the personal assistant, and then we can simply going to click on tools, and you can give it here call the n8n workflow tool so that you can calling here another workflow. I can giving here one name, let's say mental health. So I'm going to copy this out and I'm going to paste it to here and as well as rename, and it also giving here on descriptions. Okay, so to giving here on descriptions, so I am simply going to give it to here, but before that let's try to choosing here our bot from the workflow. Okay, so let's give it to here. Okay, I gave it here on descriptions, calls this tool to manage the emotions, practice mindfulness and find resources for the mental health improvement. So I can click here to back to canvas, and that's our workflow. Okay, now it also give it here to AI agents, our tool. I can give it to here, and I can give it here the tools about the mental health. So I need to give it to the same name, let's say mental, okay, mental health, and then I can give it here my prompt. Okay, so I give the prompt, provide the empathic responses, self-care tips, relaxation exercise, and resources for the mental well-being. Use it to manage the emotions, the same thing that we pass in here our tools. So you can back to canvas, and that's our thing. We can back to canvas. We can saving this out, and now let's try to test our workflow. And then I'm going to go on here, and let's say I am so sad, and my mental health, okay, let's say mental health is not so good. Let's see, and you can see it calling the mental health agents. Okay, you can see here to give the response. I am here to help you work through your emotions. It's okay to feel sad, and I am here to support you. Based on the output of the mental health tools, understand you are looking for a way to cope with the sadness. You can see here to give me some kind of thing that additional journals can be helpful to process and release emotions. Okay, so remember you are not alone, and there is support available to you. See how cool actually work. Okay, so that's my mental health chatbot. If you can also improve it more, you can adding one LLM chain, and you can divide your problem in some kind of portion, just like uh, the uh, the the calmness or the self carings, anything you can divide them. Don't worry. I just give it your own overview that how can you do that. We're going to do it for the YouTube agents as well. Now let's do it for travel agent as well. So I'm going to go with here overview. Same thing, create a workflow, and then I can give it here first step, our high-end call by another workflow, and then I'm going to give it here one accept all data, set one mock data, and then I'm going to closing this out. Let's going to give it here one query. Let's say query. So let's say Kolkata to Varanasi. Okay, Varanasi. Okay, so like that. Okay, or I want to travel from Kolkata to Varanasi. Let's say I want to travel from Kolkata to Varanasi. Okay, so let's click on ship, and I'm going to back to canvas. I'm going to click with here ship, and then I need to run the workflow. Now you can see workflow is executed. We can give it to here our text string here AI agents. So let's say AI agents. Now to give it here the define value, and query is nothing but here, and then to give it here on system message. So let's give it here the system message first. Let's go on the expressions and open it out, and I can give it here one thing. Let's say this one. Your role is to plan a trip for me based on the following details: destinations, travel date, budget, preferences, hotel and hostel, and just provide this one. Okay. So we can using this one, you're actually getting here our response. Okay. So you can click here to save it and back to canvas and adding here our chat model. That's Groq chat model, and then back to canvas. And now let's try to running this out here by saving this button. Let's click on save, and you can see that our work is executed. Let's say you can see here Varanasi. Yep, you can see here Varanasi, a city in India, known for its spiritual significance and starting in architecture. I'll be happy to plan a trip for you from Kolkata to Varanasi. Yeah, Varanasi is spiritual place. So you can see destination Varanasi, India, and travel date you can insert it here. So budget is nothing but 50,000 from Kolkata. Uh, okay, and you can see 15,000. Sorry, number of travels. Let's say you can insert it here, or flight price. You can go to the Spice Jet Kolkata to Varanasi. You can see here the price of that, or Indigo or the Air India, or you can say hotel Golden Tuli Varanasi and Hotel Ganga View. It's really good. And Varanasi backpacker, or you can see morning flight from Kolkata to Varanasi. Check in the accommodations. You can see day two, day three. You can see it will give me some kind of thing. Visit the Sarnath Museum and the Deep Parker. Lunch at local restaurant, and you can see Ganga rivers by boat. Evening visit to Dashashamedh Ghat for the Ganga Arati. Okay, and you can visit here the Varanasi Hindu University and the Nalanda University here. And three, you can visit the Shankat Mochan Hanuman temple. You also visit that. Tulsi Manas temple as well. Lunch at local restaurant, and you can see Durga temple. Yeah, and you can see budget for that. You can go for the Kasi Vishwanath. You can go for the Manikarnika. Okay, so you can see that how cool it will give you the response. Now you can simply going to call in this out, or you can make in your AI agent based on the flight options, based on the accommodation options, based on the itinerary, or based on the approximate total cost. You can creating a separate agent for that. You can creating here separate agent. Let's say this agent is working for the ticket. This agent is working for the hotel. This work agent is working for the destinations, or this working for the places. Okay, you can add it to here. Okay, let's just save it here. No problem, we're going to add it later on. Let's try to saving here workflow first. So I'm going to go on here to the workflow, and we're going to, okay, I need to give it to the workflow name. Okay, I forgot every time. So let's say this is nothing but our travel planner. Let's say planner should be an agent. Let's say agent. Okay, you can give it here same one bot icon. So you can click it to here. You can also add it here one tool just like the Wikipedia tools, or you can also add it here the search API or the Google search. Okay, so I can do save it, and I can go on the overview and go on the personal assistant, and then I can adding here on tools. So call from another workflow. That's nothing but our travel agent. Let's say travel agent, and we can copy this out, and we can simply going to paste it to here. And then I need to select from the list, let's say travel planner agent, and then I need to give it here on descriptions. Let's give it a description first, and then I'm going to give it the descriptions. Let's say use it for to your plan your next trip, compare flight prices and discover everything. So you can give it here, let's say call this tool to plan your trip, next trip, or compare this new destination or book the accommodations. Okay, everything you can actually do that. So let's say click on back, and then we can also go it inside this AI agents, and then it also passed here our AI agent. So let's say that's our travel agent. So let's say travel agent, and then we can adding here our prompt. So let's edit here. Assist with traveling planning, find the best deals, suggesting destinations, and organizing the itinerary. Itinerary is nothing but our timetables. And you can simply going to closing this out. You can back to canvas, and you can saving this out, and you can testing the workflow now. So let's test the workflow, and it will workflow. So let's say Kolkata to Ayodhya. So let's say Ayodhya. So let's click on here, and you can see here it will calling these travel agents. You can see travel agents. You can see here based on the output provided to the call tools. Wow, you excited try plan. It seems like your internet visit Ayodhya, a city with great historical significance. The estimated cost for the trip is approximate 20,000 to 30,000, which included flight, accommodation, and the local activities. You can see that. Okay, it having some kind of error. You can see here just because of our chat model. You can see chat model is not working that much time, so that's why this kind of. Okay, we can save it, and we can delete it, and we can also run it again. Uh let's say uh Varanasi. Okay, let's say Kolkata to Kedarnath. Let's say Kedarnath. So you can see here it will access it. You can see here it will give me some kind of actually things. So you can see here Jarvis, staying hydrated and taking here. Okay, you can see here you're planning to travel to Kedarnath. It's essential to be prepared for the track and the weather conditions. Kedarnath is a high altitude destination, and weather can be unpredictable, and it's recommended to pack the warm cloth. Okay, yes, it give me the response. You can see here what kind of thing you need to figure out on here. You can also give it here some kind of a budget. You can see budget. In this budget, you can actually go on here and try to visit here your Kedarnath. But you can see that our tool is really working. So if I give it here one goat prompt, if I give it here one goat prompt, in the case of travel agent, it will give me this kind of that, because our the Groq cloud, this llama is not sufficient to using this one adjust. But you see that our travel agent is actually working perfectly. Okay, now we need to using here our next tool that's called the YouTube agent, so that it will give me some kind of titles and the video idea that how can you creating here these ones. So now let's try to creating this one and try to updating these travel agents or the mental health agent. If you get time, we can do it. Okay, that's not a problem. Now let's try to creating here our YouTube agents. Now let's creating here a new workflow for the YouTube video agents. So I'm going to click on here to create workflow, and our workflow is created. Let's click on here to search for one and call by another workflow. So then I'm going to click on here accept all data, then set one mock data, then I have to give it here one query. So let's say I'm going to giving one query. Let's say query. So I'm going to give it here. Let's say create YouTube videos video on RNN. So click on save. and click on save on here as well. So let's try to execute this one. So test our workflow, and our workflow is executed. Now let's try to clicking here and giving one agents. So advanced agent, AI agents. Then I need to connect here the define below. So then after that, I need to give it here my query. So that's our query. And then I need to give it here on system message. So go on the expressions and click on here, and I can give it here one role to our YouTube agent. So your role is to conduct a deep, insightful research on the given topic, uncovering the key details, trend, and the perspective. It can be a tutorial or the news breakdown or a reaction pitch or videos. So write a complete report on the research that you perform. If you are going to making this prompt more generic, you will getting here one better results. As well as if you're using here the OpenAI chat model, you can also get here one better result as well. So click on here and click here to Groq chat cloud model and click on back, and I'm going to saving the workflow, and I'm going to testing the workflow right now and see what kind of output you got. So you got in this output having one title, an introduction, what are RNNs, the types of RNN is nothing but simple RNN, LSTM, the GRU, and how RNN actually work, advantages, limitations, applications, conclusion, everything you can see on here. So we're going to creating here one YouTube videos, right? So in the YouTube videos, we have the script as well as to giving here one titles. So we can simply going to separate with and creating here one new agent for that. So you don't need to creating here AI agent because you're already creating that. We can creating one chain for that. So let's say LLM chain. So we can basic LLM chain, and inside the chain we can give it here the data is coming from here our output. So you can give it here to define value, and you can pass it here the output. Now in the system prompt, we need to giving here one prompt based on the script outline. So we can changing this one. Let's say this should be our script outline. Let's say script. Okay, let's say script. Okay, so why? Because in order to making on YouTube videos, you have the script as well. So let's start the script from our AI agents. So you can click on rename, and also you need to give it here one prompt. So you need to give it to expressions, and you need to go on here, and then you need to typing here one prompt. The more prompt you will give, it will give you the best results. So I'm going to give it to the prompt. Your role is to come up with a YouTube video script outline based on the provided query. The video can be news or tutorial based on the research. So you can see it having a hook, it having one intro, and also it having one body that we when you're creating the YouTube videos, as well as I'm a YouTuber, so and it also creating here some kind of script. But I don't actually create any script as well. I just speak at all what is coming inside my mind. So back to canvas, but before they close it out and back to canvas. And now we need to adding here a model, let's say Groq chat model. And that's what model is added. And now you can simply going to close it, and you can test in the workflow. So you can test in the workflow. Now we have one script outline. So if I see this one, and inside the lock, you can see here our script. So you can see here, here is a here is the output. You can see here architecture of the RNN, how you can creating an input gate, hidden state, and the output gate or the forget gate. And list history of RNN you can told in your YouTube videos. You can see it also giving you a title. Okay, so now we can also generating here some kind of title so that you can add it to our YouTube video title sections. So you can simply going to adding here another LLM chain. So we can add it here advanced LLMs, basic LLM chain, and then you can give it to here define below, and you can give it script is coming from here because you're going to taking this title from our script. Okay, and you already execute our script outline. So you need to give it here prompt because you know that AI agent is nothing but working as a prompt. Okay. So I give it here a role. Your role is to come up with a high click-through rate titles, ideas based on the description of the video. Simple. So you can close it down, and you can simply go back to canvas, and you can add in here our model. So Groq chat model. And now that's our model. So we can simply continue running this out test workflow. So it will running this out, and you can see here it will create in the basic LLM chain, and inside that we having our titles. That's our possible title. You can see that how many possible title we have. We have the body, we have the intro, we have the conclusions, and also you can see here those are the title that you can use in your YouTube videos. Unlock the power of sequence data mastering in the recurrent neural network. Okay, so it will give you here the script outline as well as it will give you your title ideas. So we can change this out. Let's say title ideas. Let's say title. Okay. Actually, I'm going to speed because वीडियो काफी लंबा हो चुका है ना इसलिए, because this is the basic thing. So you can also adding here the tools just like the Google search tool. Let's say SERP API. So you can adding this Google search tool in order to making your YouTube agent more powerful. Because I don't have the access of the SERP API, I don't know why my mobile number is not verified. So that's why I got some kind of problem. You can add it your SERP API on here. Just click on here and you need to sign up with your SERP API account, then you can simply go into add it just like that. Okay, it will give me some kind of error because of my mobile number is not verified. So if I go into test it out, then you can see that I got some error. You can see here inside this I got some error that your account needs to verify a phone number. Okay, I don't know why my phone number is not verified, so that's why this problem. You can use it in order to making your any agent more powerful and try to use it for the Google search. Okay, so delete it out, and I am simply going to uh, delete it out as well, and I'm going to click here to text overflow again. And now you can see here we got in here some kind of titles. So that's our title that you can see. So now it's better we can back and combine all of the titles and inside our one set tools. Okay, let's say set. So you can add here edit field to set, and then you can add it here to manual mapping, and you can give it to response on here. So you can give it your add field, we can give it here response, and then you can add it here the expressions, and you can go on here, and then you can say that let's say possible, let's say possible title. So we can give it your possible title. Let's say that's our possible title. Let's say that's our script outline. Let's say, oh, it's gone. It should be the, let's say script outline. Let's say script outline. Oh, outline, that's it. And you can give it to here our script outline. So you can copy this and you can paste it to here. Okay, that's our script outline you can see on here. So you can close it, and you can simply go back to canvas. And now if I close it and try to run it out, and you can getting here the idea about the inside your edit field. You can see here that's our data. Okay, so now we're simply going to add this inside our personal assistant. So let's better we can editing this out as well. So let's try to make it, let's say response, and click on save, and back to canvas, and let's try to making this one as a YouTube agent. Let's say YouTube agent. So let's try to give it here one this robot sign. And then I am simply going to click on save. Okay, दो दे दिया पर, click on save, and then we can delete it out, and we can simply going to go on our workflow and go on the person assistant. Then we can adding here our tools. So let's say call n8n workflow tools. We can give it here on tool name. Let's call YouTube agent. Let's say A should be capital, and then we can give it here from list. We can give it here, let's say YouTube agents, and let's say call these tools to let's try to make it more unique. Crafting video ideas, creating high quality content, optimizing for search, and growing your YouTube audience. So that's it. We can simply go back to canvas, and then I need to also changing this one, right? It should be the YouTube agents. So YouTube agents, and you can click it here to rename, and back to canvas, and you can give it here the prompt to our AI agents. So to give it here our agents, so let's say hashtag YouTube agent, and then I have to give it here our prompt. So let's give it to here. Guide in creating, editing, and optimizing the YouTube videos, offering tips on script writing, video editing, and content strategy. Okay, use it for crafting video ideas, creating high quality content, optimizing for search, and growing your YouTube audience. So you can simply go into back, and we can simply go into save it, and then we can simply go into testing this out. Let's click on test workflow, and we're waiting for the ticket event. So you can do go on here, and also you can see here I search one thing, that's I want to visit the Taj Mahal from Kolkata, and you can see here it will give me the correct response. Flight approximate 50 to 80, and accommodation approx is nothing but this one activities. This one total approx is nothing but 155 by 275. Okay, this dollar you needed to visit from Taj Mahal from Kolkata. Okay, so you can using here the Taj Mahal, Agra Port, or the Yamuna River in Agra, as well as Victoria Memorial, Indian Museum, and the Ganga rivers in Kolkata as well. If you want to visit here Kolkata, so now I simply going to giving here on prompt. Let's say create a YouTube videos about, let's say, linear regression. Let's say linear regression, and you're already creating here videos about the linear regressions, right? In our AI concepts with coding from a star series, so you can following this out that how the linear regression actually work, and how can you be creating here one linear regression using here the Python without using the scikit-learn module. So you can see here it seems like the tool did not understand, that's why you're asking about. That's okay, let's try it again. Okay, I think the problem is nothing but for the tools. I think I need to run it again. So let's try to copy this out, and then I need to close it and I have to save the workflow again. And let's do text to workflow, and then I am simply going to run it again. And let's see. Okay, we got some response, bad response. It probably happened because just because of this Groq chat model. Okay, so we can delete it out again, and let's say create here again. Let's say create a YouTube video on machine learning. Let's say machine learning. So let's save it and try to running this out and testing the workflow. So it executed, and it will go to the YouTube agents, and it gave me some kind of response. You can see, yeah, cool, it gave me the response. Actually, what happens sometimes it will not give him the correct response just because of our chat model, and because you're going to using here one Groq chat API, every time it is calling this one, calling this one. So that's why some kind of time tool is not working properly because it's free to use, right? So you can see here based on script outline and create YouTube videos on machine learning. So unleash the power of AI, a beginner guide to machine learning. So video descriptions, video script, okay, intro, body, what is machine learning, how machine learning work, types of machine learning algorithms, application of machine learning, challenges and limitation of machine learning, calculations, and end screen. See, also it will give me the tag. Okay, so see, this is how it actually work. Okay, you can also creating here a research agent using this one as well. If you are familiar to, if you are working as a research agent, or if you are interested in writing papers or publishing the papers in a journal or everything else, you can also creating this one. Now the question is, sir, we have the ChatGPT, we have the Google Gemini, we have the DeepSeek R1. So why should we creating this kind of agent? You already have that. We can give the prompt, right? But if you give this prompt, just prompt the create YouTube videos on machine learning, our ChatGPT give me some kind of odd result because we're to giving here some understandable prompt, because we know that large language model is working based on the prompt. If you're giving here a code prompt, it will giving here you better results. So in here we already assign here all of the prompt, I mean, which is important in the case of building here any YouTube videos, we add it to our tools. So that's why when you're typing here, just like create a videos about the linear regressions or create a videos about the machine learning algorithm, it will give you the response. That's mean you don't need to type it again and again or long prompt again and again. So that's why this AI agent is coming into the picture, so that you can write here some simple prompt, and all of the technique, all of the information you can pass it inside your AI agents. So that's it for today. Now I hope you enjoyed this full tutorial, and make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so that you can notify then when new videos coming up. So thank you and bye bye. Namaste.